At exactly 10:02 p.m., the sky over Iran lit up. Multiple explosions, back to back. Missiles launched, warships targeted, fighter jets scrambling. And just like that, the war was back on. No warnings, no negotiations, no delay. After weeks of ceasefire talks, everything collapsed in minutes. So what changed? Why did the United States suddenly strike, and why is Iran hitting back immediately? Because this isn't just a retaliation. This is the start of a new phase, and it could be far more dangerous than the first.
The turning point came fast. Explosions were reported near Iran's key port regions, including Bandar Abbas and strategic positions near the Strait of Hormuz. These weren't random strikes. They were coordinated, multiple targets hit in rapid succession. This signals one thing: planning. At the same time, Iran responded almost instantly. Anti-ship missiles were launched toward U.S. warships in the region. This is critical, because attacking naval destroyers is not symbolic, it's escalation. And it shows Iran is willing to respond directly, not indirectly. So why did this happen now? Because behind the scenes, diplomacy had already collapsed.
For weeks, negotiations were ongoing. Frameworks, proposals, deadlines, nothing worked. Iran made it clear it would not negotiate under current conditions, and intelligence reports suggested something even more serious. During the ceasefire, Iran wasn't slowing down. It was rebuilding. Missile systems restored, launch platforms still active, underground facilities back online. In simple terms, the pause wasn't peace. It was preparation. And from the U.S. perspective, waiting longer meant facing a stronger opponent later. So the strategy changed. Instead of waiting for pressure to work, they acted now.
The targets also reveal the bigger picture. Qeshm Island and Bandar Abbas are not just locations, they are key military hubs. From these points, Iran can control maritime operations, launch drones, and target ships in one of the world's busiest oil routes. Taking out these locations weakens Iran's ability to dominate the Strait of Hormuz. And that's where this conflict really matters. Because the strait isn't just regional, it's global. A major portion of the world's oil flows through this narrow passage. Any disruption here affects fuel prices, global markets, and economic stability worldwide. Now here's where things get even more intense. U.S. warships in the area are equipped with advanced missile defense systems. They are designed to intercept incoming threats within seconds. But no system is perfect. And when multiple missiles are launched at once, it becomes a test of limits. At the same time, Iran scrambled fighter jets into the air, not necessarily to win an air battle, but to complicate the battlefield, to create pressure, to force the U.S. to divide its attention. This is a classic strategy: make the situation unpredictable. Meanwhile, U.S. aerial refueling aircraft were spotted in the region. That's a huge signal, because it means this wasn't a one-time strike. It means sustained operations are possible. Aircraft can refuel mid-air, return, and strike again. In other words, this could continue. And there's another major shift. Regional players are getting involved. Countries like Saudi Arabia and Kuwait are now allowing expanded military access. That changes everything, because it increases strike range, speed, and frequency. It turns a limited operation into a full-scale campaign capability. So where does this leave us? Both sides are now locked in a dangerous cycle. Strike, respond, escalate, and neither side wants to appear weak. But here's the real risk. This conflict is no longer just about military power. It's about time. Iran believes it can outlast pressure. The U.S. believes acting faster prevents a bigger threat. Two completely different strategies heading toward the same collision point. So the question now is simple. Is this a short-term escalation or the beginning of a much larger war?
Because once a conflict restarts like this, it rarely goes back to where it was before, and this time, the stakes are much higher.